Welcome to Business Book Daily. Today I'm breaking down a book about economic cycles, global power, and why leaders need to study the forces beneath the headlines. I'll cover the big idea, the practical business lesson, and three sharp insights you can use right away. Let's get into it. But first, a word from our sponsor. Want to sell more without adding fixed payroll? A lot of smart operators hire commission-only reps, experienced sellers who get paid only when they produce results. If that sounds like a smarter way to scale, post your opportunity at commissiononly.com. Thousands of motivated reps are actively looking for performance-based roles right now. Commissiononly.com. Today's book is The Changing World Order by Dalio. Dalio is the founder of Bridgewater Associates and a longtime investor known for studying economic cycles, markets, debt, and decision-making. His core argument is simple. The world may feel chaotic, but it's not random. Nations rise and fall in patterns that repeat over long periods of time. That's what makes this book useful. Dalio studies forces like debt cycles, wealth gaps, internal conflict, external conflict, education, innovation, productivity, and the strength of a country's currency. His point is that leaders make better decisions when they understand the forces shaping power, money, markets, and stability over time. The book makes a clear point. Countries and companies both rise and fall because of patterns. When a nation is productive, innovative, educated, financially strong, and internally united, it becomes more powerful. When debt rises, conflict grows, trust falls, and leadership weakens, decline becomes more likely. One of the strongest ideas in the book is that power rises from strong fundamentals. Nations become stronger when they invest in education, innovation, productivity, trade, and financial strength. Businesses work the same way. A company gets stronger when it develops talent, improves systems, builds useful products, earns customer trust, and keeps its finances healthy. Another key lesson is that debt can create growth or danger. Borrowing can help a country or company grow when it's used well, but too much debt creates weakness. When debt rises faster than real productivity, the system becomes fragile. In business, leaders need to know the difference between using debt to build future value and using debt to cover deeper problems. The book also explains why internal conflict weakens performance. When groups inside a country stop trusting each other, it becomes harder to solve problems. The same thing happens inside companies. If teams fight over status, blame, budgets, or control, the business loses energy. A divided organization can have smart people and still perform poorly because too much effort goes into internal friction. There's also a useful lesson about trust. A country's currency stays strong when people trust the system behind it. That trust depends on economic strength, responsible leadership, and confidence in the future. For businesses, the lesson is broader. Trust is a form of capital. Customers, employees, investors, and partners all respond to whether they believe the company is stable and credible. Another important idea is that the biggest risks build slowly. Major problems rarely appear from nowhere. Debt builds over time. Culture weakens over time. Competition grows over time. Trust erodes over time. Leaders get into trouble when they ignore early warning signs because the current results still look fine. So how do you apply this? Start by looking at the fundamentals of your company, not just the current results. Revenue may be growing, but that doesn't always mean the business is getting stronger. Look at customer retention, profit quality, debt, cash reserves, employee capability, operational discipline, and trust in leadership. A healthy company should be building strength underneath the visible numbers. Next, examine whether growth is being powered by real productivity or by financial strain. If the business is growing because customers love the product, margins are improving, and the team is getting more effective, that's strong growth. If growth depends on heavy borrowing, constant discounting, overworked employees, or delayed expenses, the business may be creating future problems. Then pay attention to internal unity. If departments blame each other, leaders protect turf, or employees don't trust decisions, performance will eventually suffer. Strong companies create clear goals, fair systems, and honest communication so people can spend more energy serving customers and less energy fighting the organization. After that, build buffers before you need them. Cash reserves, diversified customers, strong supplier relationships, flexible operations, and a deep leadership bench all make a business harder to break. Fragile companies often look efficient in good times, but resilient companies survive bad times. Finally, study long-term forces in your market. Watch customer behavior, technology shifts, financing conditions, regulation, talent availability, and competitor moves. The goal isn't to predict everything perfectly. It's to avoid being surprised by trends that were already visible if you knew where to look. Now, here are 3 insights worth sharing. First, the strongest companies aren't just growing. They're building the fundamentals that make growth durable. Second, debt, conflict, and lost trust rarely destroy a business overnight. They build quietly while the surface still looks fine. Third, good leaders don't just react to today's pressure. They study the cycle they're in and prepare before the pressure peaks. Today's closing sponsor is memoirghostwriting.com. Many of the best business books start as ideas leaders have been refining for years. Memoirghostwriting.com works with founders, executives, and industry experts to turn those ideas into polished business books that build authority, attract leads, and open doors. They handle everything from interviews to writing, to editing, to publishing. If there's a book in your head that should already be helping your business, learn more at memoirghostwriting.com. That's it for today. See you next time.